Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Carboni. I am the Community High School Campus Instructional Technology Facilitator. I also am the department head for math at the high school. I teach AP Calculus and Algebra 1. And today I'm here to talk to you about quizzes in Canvas. Here's your Canvas page. You may have more, you may have less classes listed. I have my Algebra 1 and my calculus classes here. So we're going to go ahead and use my Algebra 1 class today. I have multiple Algebra 1s combined in here, so if you need to do that, we can tutorial through that later. But today we're going to be using the quiz section for Canvas. This quiz section I use it for daily work and also remediation checks. Great way for your kids to find out if they did it right or wrong right away. Great way to see if they're picking up the learning as they should. So right here in the quizzes section, we're going to go ahead and add quiz. Two different options here. If you're used to Canvas or you've been on Canvas for a while, you may like doing the classic quizzes. Just up to you. I like using the new ones because there's a lot more different types of questions that you can ask. If you don't know the difference, you can click on the learn more about the differences section and do that. But we're going to go ahead and click new quizzes. As we jump in here, front page we're going to have is the details page. You can name it, give it points, all that good stuff. So we're going to name it just example today. You can give any amount of points, 1 through 100, however you want to do it. It will auto grade according to what points you want to give. So I usually just do 100 for easy point system there. To assign it, you can assign it different groups, and then display it as points, percentage, complete, not complete, all different options there. As you go through this section right here, there's a bunch of different options you can do. You can include it in the assignment's grades when you sync the grade book, or you can click it and it's not. Assign to different classes. You can assign it to everybody in that class. You can assign it to certain classes. Uh, Sometimes when you look at the classes, they don't always show all your classes that are combined in there, but as you click on them, they'll auto populate there. So whatever classes you want to assign them to, you can assign them to one, assign them to all, assign them to a specific kid. If you want to use it for remediation, you can assign it to a specific person. However you want to do it. The biggest thing is put a due date on there. I like to push it out a little bit farther than a normal. You can put the normal due date there, but I be careful on that because sometimes, depending on how you set this up, it will lock it out. Another thing you have to put here is when you want them to start. You don't have to necessarily put the available date to start, but you can. It'll put it in the module, and you can start it either way. This is the big one. Until if you put an until date, when it gets to that date and time, it will lock your assignment out. So be careful using that. After that, you sign those dates. You can build your quiz. It'll ask you if you missed a couple classes, is it okay or not? You can always go back and change that later if you missed anything. As we're waiting for this to load, a big thing for this is you can use it any subject you're in. You could use this because of the ways they ask. They have questions set up and everything. English, math, science. Anybody can really use this for their remediation, daily work, whatever you're going to use it for. So here's the main setup page for the quiz. The building sections where you build the questions and the actual quiz. We'll go into the settings here in a little bit, but let's go ahead and look at it. The title will already be there. If you want to change it, you can. If you want to add instructions to the quiz, if you made it a timer or whatever, you can add the instructions there as a separate tab. You don't have to add instructions, but it's there for you. So now just go ahead and click add content. This will give you all the different types of questions that they offer. Um, any way you can think of asking a question, it probably has something in here for it. My favorite ones, multiple choice, true, false. Being a math teacher, numeric is great because they can actually put the answer in and you can set a range, do all different things with the answer options. Multiple choice, We all know what multiple choice is. Matching, you can put two different sets of things and they have to match it to each other. Fill in the blank. English teachers, you can have essays. Math, science, there's hot spots where you can highlight certain parts of a graph. All different ways. You can even upload just a question on from a paper copy. Upload a question and it's there. So the easiest thing for me to show you today would I'm just going to jump into true false. Quick sesh here. So true false. The question setups here. This first one is not the actual question. This first one is a title. I always use it for if I'm labeling teaks, if I'm what type of question it is, however you want to label that specific question. Don't put the question there. That's not where the question goes. This is just for you to label what type of question it is. So I usually put a teak in there just to separate them out. Also, down here, go into the second box. This is where you actually type in the question. You can edit it, bold, italicize, underline, however you want to do it. For math and science, there is a math setup here and science setup here. You can do all your different things here, the operators, Greek letters, whatever, almost anything you can think of that you need to create a question in math on that. So you would pop your question in there. Like I said, you can edit it. I'm going to go ahead, do I teach math? So type your question there. And then obviously this one's pretty easy because it's just a true false question. So you pick the right answer, true or false. Other ones you'll have multiple choice. You can type it in, all this other stuff, all the other different combinations there. Sometimes they'll give you different options on this one. You can put an on-screen calculator for the question. You don't have to, up to you. And then after you're done, you go down here, set points for that specific question, however many you want to set, depending on what questions you are, or you can just leave it at one and it'll just total them up at the end, however you want to do that. And then you can either click done or you can just click outside the question. It saves the question for you and it has it right there. The biggest thing I like about this is the preview button. If you get to this and you see this and you want to go, well, how are they going to see that on the quiz, the actual quiz? You can click up here in this button right here, this preview button. What it does is take you to another screen, and this is exactly what the student sees when they get the question on the quiz. Exactly how it is. You can even answer it to see how it responds. It'll ask you to submit, and it'll auto grade. Basically, you can pre-take the quiz ahead of time, and this is what they see at the end. Now we can change settings at the end, but this is what you see if you were to actually take it right then and there. When you're done with that, and you like what you see or you don't like what you see, you can hit the exit preview, and it brings you back to the main page. So all that said, if you make 20 questions, you make 5 questions, however many it takes, it'll list it down here, one through however many. It'll tell you how many total points you've assigned. You can go back if you messed up and you want to change these points or the question. Just click on the question. It pops back open. You can change anything you want there. After you're done, I always go to the settings page. A bunch of different settings you can have right here. You can shuffle the questions. You can shuffle the answers. I like shuffling the answers because it kind of shakes the whole trying to just copy whatever everybody else answered. So if they're looking on each other's, the answers may not be in the same order. Shuffle the questions, it's even more because then they got to look for the questions or whatever it is. The one in question at a time, I like using for tests. That way, you can go one at a time and not worry about seeing all of them. You just go one at a time. They can always go back, or you don't have to let them go back, whichever one. Tests, I like to put a passcode in. As long as you remember what the passcode, you just go back and look at the passcode and give it to them before they start. I like using that on tests, not necessarily daily work. You can set a time limit, however you want to do it, however long, however short. I don't do much with the IP addresses because it gets real specific, and I just don't think it's worth that time to do that. Calculators, if you want it, they have a basic and a scientific. If you want to put those in, multiple attempts, always like this. It'll keep your highest score if you want, or you can average it. You can do however many you want, unlimited, or you can tell them how many you do, just depending on what the situation is. And then you can always put a time in between. Last thing here is you can restrict what they see at the end. You can show or hide the points awarded, points possible, show items and questions, see what they responded, the correct if it was correct or not, or if it was incorrect. Show the correct answer. Be careful on that. If it's a daily work, they'll start working it, and then they'll start just looking at each other's answers. So be careful on that one. Then after you're done with your settings, everything's good. You can hit return. It'll save it. Big thing is when they start actually taking the quiz or when they're done with the quiz, you can go back into this quiz and run reports for all the numbers people out there that, especially with admin, they like to see how they did in your classes and everything. You can look at different reports. I don't have anything right now because the students haven't taken it. Um, and if you ever leave open-ended questions, you can click moderate and you can go through each person's quiz and moderate their open-ended questions. So hit return. It will take you back to the quizzes section. Being a little slow. So this is in your quizzes section. To post it in a module for your class, click on modules. And then I'm going to open up an example module because I don't want to put this in my normal class. So the modules here. Now be careful also, make sure you publish both the module and the quiz. I've published a quiz before and then not published the module and they still can't see it. So they'll let you know pretty quick on that. So on this, hit the plus button and then you have it listed under quizzes. Click the quiz, add the quiz, it shows you 100 points, what the quiz is named. Remember again, publish the module and the quiz. If you want to edit it, you can edit through the edit button. If you make a mistake, remove it. But that is, long story short, that is a short version of putting a quiz using or adding the quiz and all that. If you wanted to see it again, you can click on the quiz from here and you can basically edit the assignment through that also. So you can always go back and edit, change things, reset the points. However, if you messed up a question, you can change the answers. It'll auto regrade. That takes a minute, but it'll auto regrade. But that is the short version of a quiz in Canvas. If you want more help on this, you can ask your campus facilitator or you can contact me. My contact information, I'm at the high school, room 227. You can email me, or if you have a district phone, my extension is 2227. I appreciate you being with me today, and I will see you next time.